We here at Mayhem Media
understand the trials and tribulations of life.
No matter how hard life can get.
Suicide is never the answer.
There's more assistance available today than ever before.
If you or a loved one are suffering from suicidal thoughts, please don't try and take it on alone.
Call or text 988 if you live in the U.S.
Or if you're in Great Britain, call 116123 or text 85258.
The world is a better place with you in it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mayhemtainment. I am your host, the bad guy, JD, and we are continuing our coverage of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and we are up to Captain America and the Avengers. And I've assembled my Avengers to talk about the Marvel Avengers. In the bottom corner, we have this from the Nice Guy Andy podcast and the Superfly Experience, Superfly Johnny Lee.
What's up? What's up?
Next to him, we have joining us at the last second. I didn't know if he was actually going to make it, and I'm glad that he did make it, though. It's always a better show with Uncle Slam from Headlocks, Heels, and Havoc.
What's up, family? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And in the top corner, we have his co-host, the legend himself, J-Mac.
What up, everybody?
And in the other top corner, we have my favorite show from Popcorn and Whiskey, Andrew Poletto.
Peace, brothers.
All right, gentlemen. We're going to talk about the Captain America and the Avengers movie tonight. We've been going through the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So who wants to start? I mean, Captain America. Well, let's start with Captain America first. The first Avenger.
As one should.
This is the first one where we actually go back in time, which is the first time jump we have in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That's technically the first movie in, if you watch it timeline wise, Captain America would be the first that you would watch.
They call it the Captain America, the first Avenger. So there you go.
Yeah.
They have inside comics as well, so it makes sense.
I thought it was a good movie. Go ahead, J-Mac.
I was just going to say, and I'll go out on a limb and say it's the best movie of the entire non-Avenger movies.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
This is probably, at least to date, because we're kind of doing this, chronologically. So
right, but I'm saying of all the movies to date, and with all of it, my favorite one.
Oh, okay, favorite. Okay, that's fine. I thought you were saying it was the best one.
It is, in my opinion.
Okay, so I don't know where I was going to go with that. I got distracted. So
I thought, and I start off here. I thought it was slow, but it needed to be because you had to do the character build up, so it needed to be slow at the beginning.
Exactly.
So it was as distracting to some as it may be, being so slow. It is necessary to have that in this kind of movie. So you needed that. Without that, to come up where everything came from, you don't know what's going on.
Plus, it needs to introduce to you first how Captain America became Captain America before just throwing you into it.
I think Captain America is one of those that needed the origin story in order to make him work. You know what I mean? Like, unlike Hulk, which we've had several times, he didn't need an origin story, so to speak. But Captain America absolutely needed one.
Definitely.
I kind of enjoyed the movie. Honestly, like I said, I thought it was kind of balanced. It was had enough action. It gave us the backstory of Cap or whatever. Um, it just kind, you know what I'm saying? Like it just kind of kept the action going. Like I didn't think there was too many really dull parts. And probably my favorite part was when he outsmarted everybody, and they were doing the I think it was the physical test, and they had to get the flag from the flagpole, and everybody tried to climb it, and he was the smartest one. He just pulled the pin and grabbed it.
Yeah.
He just showed that he was more intelligent than everybody else, and then he proved that he had more heart than everybody because when what's the name threw that grenade, he was the only one that jumped on it to save everybody while everybody else just ran away.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's one of a very good scene. I love that scene. I laughed. I actually laughed out loud in that scene.
Exactly.
So, for me, also,
And I like the Red Skull too. Also,
yeah, Hugo Weaving. I was just about to say, let's talk about the supporting cast for a minute. We got of course, Hugo Weaving is a Red Skull. We'll talk about him in a second. But we got Tommy Lee Jones in this, and I'm sorry, I can't remember her name, but she's Peggy Carter, and then Colonel Phillip is who Tommy Lee Jones is playing. So I thought Tommy Lee Jones coming to the Marvel Cinematic Universe was like another kind of getting another one of those A-listers, one of those top stars to like add more credibility to their universe.
It was a stroke of genius.
That makes sense.
What do you guys think about? How do you think they did? They were only supporting roles, but I think both of them did very well.
I think you could roll Tommy Lee Jones in a pile of shit and still put him on screen, and it'd still make good money.
I wouldn't go that far, but I do like him as an actor or whatever.
Hey, you know what? I support. I'm sorry, Uncle Sam. I support J-Mac's statement, okay? And my argument for that is just two words: small soldiers.
Change the scenery, because it's too loud.
We'll have to talk about that movie some other time. But I think Tommy Lee Jones is one of the people that saved that movie. I think it's a big pile of crap with Tommy Lee Jones in the middle. But go ahead, Slam, about Captain America and Tommy Lee Jones.
I like Tommy Lee Jones or whatever, but honestly, I think he was just more of a side note. I think Peggy was besides Cap, was like the main star or whatever. Her whole love connection. Her trying to help Cap out, and all the shit he did of basically sacrificing his life so that she could, and eventually, like later on, we learn all the other stuff that he did, or once we get to the end of the movie, you saw when he goes back in time to be with her or whatever. So she was, like I said, I liked her as an actor. I never watched the series, was it Carter or whatever?
Agent Carter, Agent Carter. It wasn't a great series for when Marvel was trying to still get into their TV series and stuff. But it was okay. It only ran one season. It was only supposed to serve.
Oh, did it for real? Damn! I thought it was longer than that.
I think it was only one series or one season because it was just meant to be like her send off. Like she was so popular in the movie that they made the series to kind of give her a wrap up to her story.
Popular in the series. I know the movie she was, but the rest of the series, no, she wasn't.
No. She was popular in the movie, so they made a series. It's a mini series called Agent Carter. It's like 10 or 12 episodes long, and it's her leading basically what's left of the Howling Commandos. She kind of leads the Howling Commandos through that series, and it's kind of an ending to her story until later on in the series that we'll have to wait to talk about. Who can name this actor? Not the character. Who can name the actor?
Isn't that Alf's
I
dad?
can't.
Here, I'll put him back up again.
Isn't that Alf's dad?
No.
Looks like him, but no. I couldn't tell you his name, but he has been in everything. As a matter of fact, I can't remember what it was. The Pelican Brief is what it was. He was just the assassin in Pelican Brief.
Really?
With Denzel Washington and Julia Roberts. And now that he put it up there, I just remember.
He's one of the most well-rounded actors that you're ever going to see. He plays so many different roles, and he's in so many different things. And he has such a good job. They do such a good job at making his look different, so you wouldn't even know it. His name is Stanley Tucci.
Okay.
And he has played in several movies. Way too many.
Doesn't he have a series on Netflix or something? Stanley Tucci Travels or something like that?
That's possible.
I think he does.
That's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, he's played in just about every type of role there is. I don't know that he's ever been the main guy, but he's always one of the supporting roles, and he's been in so many different things. Way too many to list off. If anybody wants to go look up his full filmography, I encourage you to do so because it would surprise you, I'm sure. But I think getting him, he's one of those hidden guys where, like you guys said, nobody knew his name, but you know him from so many different other things. And I think him in that movie really added something as well.
Well, even like Tommy Lee Jones, Tommy Lee Jones didn't have a whole big role in it. He was there to be the guy who didn't believe in Cap, but saw something different in Cap.
And that's where Stanley Tucci's character comes in. He was the guy who was pushing for Chris Evans' character, Steve Rogers, before he became Captain America to become Captain America. It was a great dynamic between the two of them. So I really liked it, and I think that added more to the movie. I think that's what completed it as a movie, is that there was a whole bunch of different layers to this movie. It wasn't just your classic, hero flick.
Exactly.
How did Chris Evans do? How do you guys all rank Chris Evans as Captain America?
The best.
I think he was great. I can't picture anybody else doing it, but then again, he's done it for so long, you just can't. He was
like I kind of agree. Like I can't see anybody else as Cap. I mean, like I know they have what's his face, the Falcon. I can't think of
the Falcon. Now he's the new Captain America.
Yeah. You know that's Kurt Russell's son.
Who?
The guy that plays the new Cap.
That's his son.
What?
I'm pretty sure that's Kurt Russell's son.
Are you talking about
black guy?
No, not the black guy. Like
the Winter Soldier. He's already talking about the Winter Soldier.
Captain America.
Yeah,
like the other Captain. Yeah, they try to make him the Captain America.
Oh, the other Captain. Yeah, in the okay, that's later on though. We're getting way ahead of ourselves. Save that.
I was just bringing up the fact that that's Kurt Russell's son.
The black guy? What?
Yeah.
We let that one of the most
about the Falcon, the guy who plays the Falcon, whose name I was just about to look up for a minute. But yeah,
I know Kurt got around in Hollywood, but I didn't know that.
I was like, he's got that Michael Jackson shit. They're a Wago. It's
reverse. Don't forget Bucky as well.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you just threw everybody off on that one, J-Mac. Holy cow, we were all wondering what.
What's
J-Mac smoking over there tonight?
I know it's 20, but damn.
Oh wow! All right.
Did we forget to also mention Bucky?
Bucky, yeah, I didn't get a picture of him in this for this yet. I didn't get the
Howling.
Yep, Sebastian.
Yeah, Sebastian. Yeah. He's really good too, and we're going to be talking about him later on in the series as well. Spoiler alert, everybody. His character doesn't die in that movie. And then we got Hugo Weaving as Red Skull.
The perfect Red Skull.
And I don't know if, this is one of those things. I'm a huge Hugo Weaving fan. Okay, I really like Hugo Weaving, but I think Red Skull was a weird choice for him.
Yeah,
but
a villain? That's like a classic Captain American villain, though.
No. Red Skull was a good choice to be.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good choice.
I'm saying Hugo Weaving playing the Red Skull because he doesn't need a face. Red Skull, like I understand they use CGI and stuff, but you can't tell that's. Tell me that's Hugo Weaving.
I tell you why I think that they went with that choice was because at the time that they were putting all these movies together and casting everybody, he was just leaving the Lord of the Rings franchise playing Elrond.
Plus he was also Agent Smith in the first Matrix trilogy. So and I think I love Hugo Weaving. I think he's great, but I think it was a weird casting choice to have that kind of star power, coming off of it to be a faceless, so to speak, character. I think you could have put almost anybody, like you guys were saying about the Pepper Potts and some of the other tertiary characters. I don't know that you needed a super strong character for that. Hugo Weaving, I don't even think really brought anything unique to the Red Skull. That's just my opinion.
Did they ever say in the movie how the Red Skull became the Red Skull? Because it's been a long time since I've seen it, so I don't remember if they did or not.
I don't remember that.
I don't either.
They didn't give any backstory to him, like in the movie or anything like that.
Yeah.
Come to think of it, that's
And
a little
see-
weird. Yeah.
And
Instead, we
not
just
trying to
get thrown
jump
into
too
it.
and not trying to jump forward or anything, but they did that with his character a couple of times because they didn't explain why he was in charge of the Soul Stone either.
Well,
Yeah.
they-
He was
they don't-
trying to
they
get
kinda
it.
do
He
it,
wasn't in
don't.
charge of it. He was trying to. He acquired it. He found it they acquired it. They found it somewhere, right? Is what I believe the
Didn't
story
they find
is.
the Tesseract or something
Well,
like
he
that?
got
That's what I'm saying, the
transported by
Tesseract,
the Tesseract to the place like where they keep the Soul Stone, and then they kind of forced him to be the not guardian, but I guess the guy that tells you what you're supposed to do. He was trapped there pretty much,
Like
telling
the
everybody, hey,
gatekeeper
you
or
got to
something, yeah.
sacrifice to get the Soul Stone. You got to give a soul, to get the Soul Stone.
That's
Pretty
later,
much.
yeah,
and
that's
shit.
later on after he actually tried
Right,
to
Yeah,
right.
way
But-
later on.
But they never.
But
they
at the end
never
of the movie, doesn't he
explained
get
why.
sucked into like a wormhole and get shot to wherever he is later on and shit?
Well, who went down in the plane with Cap at the end?
Cap was by himself.
Was he? I thought there's somebody else in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so then
Okay, so he is an experiment. No, just I don't think this is said in the movies. Okay, but the Red Skull is an experiment. He was an experiment of the super soldier program. He's the equivalent. That's why he serves. That's why they set him up so well as to be Captain America's opposite. He is the German
Right, I knew that.
equivalent of the super soldier.
That's right.
It came
Hail
with side
Hydra.
effects, thus the red face, and I believe it also drove him mad. So
okay.
he's a product of the Germans' super
Right.
soldier program. That's
So-
Red
so
Skull's
what-
origins.
But he
In
was
hindsight,
flying
they
the
just
plane
wanna
at the
drown.
end at one point, wasn't he?
He was what?
Wasn't he flying the plane that Cap?
No. All right. So at the end of the movie, he touches the Tesseract. He tries to pick it up to control its power to kill Captain America to complete the plan and everything, and it destroys him. It rips him apart because it's an Infinity Stone. It's the first time we know now that we've seen the Infinity Stones already, but we didn't know that they were Infinity Stones. This was our first real inkling to what these stones that have been popping up are. And he tries to grab it. He gets destroyed. He drops it onto the plane. It goes through the plane. It drops into the ocean where it's found later on. And we'll talk about that in another episode.
So
But
he was.
wasn't it in Thor though? Like, ain't
What?
that the same thing that they were free? That the ice. What I want to say goblins, but
That's how the
trolls.
Tesseract. Yes. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, we're all getting all sideways here, man. These stones and stuff. I'm telling you, man. These stones and stuff. Here, let me put
Stones
this
are
on
very
the screen.
important. though.
These are the 6 stones. These are the Infinity
Look
Stones.
at
that we're
you
talking about.
nerding it out on us here. Holy
Hey,
moly.
I like this. I
okay.
like this.
All right. So the Tesseract, yes, originally is in Asgard.
Okay.
And then the events of Thor, it
Bring
gets
it to Earth.
lost when after Loki takes over, if I'm not mistaken. Someone who's watching, please correct me if I'm wrong. Oh my goodness, the comments are blowing up. So someone, it's Wolfman. Captain America was by himself when he crashed. Yes, but
Well, yeah, I know that,
But
but
we're
he.
trying to figure out the Tesseract.
Well,
what
who
the
took
Tesseract
it?
was before that. But yes,
But-
in the events of Thor, it gets lost and it ends up on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Sure
But it was
does.
already on Earth.
Yeah, it was on Earth inside the ship for 70 years until they found it with Cap.
Well,
And then that's whenever Nick Fury shows it to Stark, and that
Yeah, but you got to think of the time, Asgardian time.
Captain, hold on a second. Hold on. Hold on, everybody. This is what the problem is. Okay, everybody. The Captain America takes place before the events of Thor.
right.
Yes.
right.
So at the time that Captain America is there, the Tesseract, I don't believe, is on Asgard. At the time Thor happens, it is on Asgard.
True.
But when Captain America happens, it's not on Asgard. Remember, Captain America takes place before Thor. Captain America is the first movie in the timeline.
Right, but then how does it get to Asgard? Do we know?
Let me look. Let me look.
Yeah, see, that's the only thing I'm confused
Probably
about
Loki.
and shit.
But well,
After
okay, look
Captain
that up.
America, the first Avenger, how did the Tesseract end up back on Asgard?
That's what I've been trying to figure out.
Following the Battle of
Did
New
you-
York and the Avengers, Thor used the Tesseract containing the Space Stone to transport himself and Loki back to Asgard. It was then placed in Odin's vault for safekeeping, where it remained until Loki retrieved it again during Thor Ragnarok before Asgard's destruction.
So,
But he had it. He had
No,
it
no,
before then.
No,
It says after Captain America dropped it in 1945, Howard Stark found the Tesseract in the ocean while searching for Steve Rogers, after which it was held by S.H.I.E.L.D. Loki used the Scepter Mind Stone to corrupt Dr. Savage and used the Tesseract to open a portal for the Century invasion for the Avengers.
now we're going into
And
the
then
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
the end of the
But
film,
that still doesn't answer our question. It's like it seems like the Earth had it first, and then Asgard got it. But it's like, how
That's
did
correct.
they get it before them?
No.
well, okay,
Hold on.
okay. So that is covered because there is a theory that what's his face Odin
Loki.
tried to do exactly what Thanos did and collect up all the stones. Because there is, even in Ragnarok, when Helena is going through like the trophy room or something, there is a power gauntlet sitting there, and she knocks it over.
Yeah,
So
but it's
there's a theory. There's a theory that
I've heard
Odin
that
tried
before.
to use all the stones, and then decided, no, this is too much power for one person, and he's the one that scattered the stones to where the Avengers and Thanos were searching for them.
Okay, so and I would like to point out that that we're going to have to actually discuss. We'll discuss the history of all the stones, but if we really want to discuss
That's
this
right.
now, we're about to get into Captain Marvel too, because
Okay.
that's what the hidden thing is. The hidden time between how did it get from here to here happens during Captain Marvel, which it actually takes place between Captain America and the events of the Avengers. So Captain Marvel is where the Tesseract leaves Earth and ends up back in the hands of the Asgardians, or at least one of the times that it ends up back in the hands of the Asgardians.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I guess I don't remember that
Well,
part.
I don't remember it either, because Captain Marvel was a piece of crap movie that should never been made. And they
let's save
Captain Marvel his name
wait,
back.
We'll
Get
save
there,
that one. We'll
J-Mac.
save that one.
Yeah, let's save for that one. So anyway, all right,
for later.
before we get into the Avengers, then let's talk about the Captain America. At the end of the movie, of course, the Tesseract drops in and he crashes the plane with all the missiles in Antarctica. The final scene, the post-credit scene of that, is when he wakes up, when they wake him up in modern day, and or around 2000 or whatever it was. I don't remember the exact year that it was that they woke him back up, but they wake him back up, and then that's the end scene for Captain America.
It's like 2009 or 2010, something like that.
Yeah. So,
or 2011. That's when the movie comes out. So he got woken up in 2011.
Okay.
Yeah, probably. So yes, he gets woken up modern day, and then they do the whole chase scene where the agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. are all over him, and that's the final cut scene, the post-credit scene for Captain America.
He woke up just in time for the Avengers.
Which then takes us into the events of the Avengers, which, in my opinion, at least at this point in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, at least what we've been covering. Okay, so far, the Avengers was everything I think as a fan I wanted it to be, and it blew. I think it was exactly the right movie, and I think it was arguably the best, or at least in the conversation for the best movie of the Infinity Stone saga of the MCU. That's my opinion.
It was the best.
Okay. I'll start with this. There's one part of this movie that really bugged the bejeebers out of me, and I still haven't heard of a good answer for it.
All right, go ahead.
When they were up in the air on the ship, the flying ship, and what's his name turns into the Hulk, why does he start going after everybody up there?
Why? Because when
Go ahead.
No. So
okay. I was just gonna say because Loki was controlling everybody with the Mind Stone because his little staff he had that was the Mind Stone, so he was able to fuck with everybody, and that's why the Hulk was pissed off. That's why everybody stopped trusting everybody and
That's
shit.
right.
So
Yeah.
that's why he
Wow, I
got
would
pissed
never-
off and started fucking shit up.
That's really why they call him the trickster god.
Yes.
I would have never thought of that because
Yeah.
then later on when he says, "I have a secret," I'm always angry. Okay, but so if you can turn it on and off, why were you destroying the freaking plane to begin with?
No, hold on a second. Now, hold on a second. He figured out at that point. Bruce Banner has figured out how to control it, meaning he can keep it under control and release it when he chooses. But he still does not have control of the Hulk. The
Hulk was 5 minutes,
The Hulk is
but
still
5
the Hulk.
Right, but
you
but
guys are stretching now.
that's not what he said.
No, it's not.
Because
Hold on a second.
You're taking a lot of liberties with this one.
No,
right, because he
on.
sat there and said, "Hold on." He sat there and said, "That's the key. I'm always angry."
Then
And
why-
immediately,
then-
hold on. He immediately, because he just automatically figured out within the last 5 minutes that he's
Yes.
always angry. So I can just morph it whenever I want to.
Mhm.
But you never see him.
I
turn
don't.
away from
I
the
don't
Hulk.
buy
And
that.
why
I
in
don't buy
later-
that.
Well, then good. Let me make this argument then. Why in later Avengers do they have to do the lullaby with the Black Widow? Because he can't control it when he's the Hulk. He can control Bruce Banner.
Yeah,
and
but-
when
Well,
the
we
Hulk turns
know
on-
he can't control the Hulk, but that's not what they're talking about controlling. They're talking.
But also,
it's talking about him
also Kevin
controlling
Burns
his
with the
anger.
volleyball thing.
when he's the Hulk, he's not Bruce Banner.
We know that, but that has nothing to do with him transforming and his ability to transform.
She's got to do
at
volleyball.
will.
The common
No,
day.
but all right, then I don't. Wait
They're
a minute,
trying to do a
Andrew, hold on,
romance
hold on.
between the two, and it just
Andrew,
doesn't
what
work.
is Superfly, you're frozen. Okay, there you are. Andrew, what is it you were trying to ask? Because I'm confused maybe about what you were trying to ask.
When they're in the flying ship
Yes.
and he turns into the Hulk.
Yes.
First of all, I don't remember why he turns into the Hulk, but he does.
That's because the floor gives out, the explosion happens. Scarlet Witch, or no, I'm sorry, not Scarlet Witch, I apologize. Black Widow and Bruce Banner fall through the hole and they land real hard and he's hurt and he starts transforming into the Hulk and he can't stop it.
Yep.
Okay, that's fine. So then why does he start going
That's
after
the Hulk still. That's what I'm saying. That's the Hulk still.
Yeah.
Bruce Banner still can't control the Hulk. That's the Hulk.
He can
Okay,
only
but
control
he-
it.
But 5 minutes. But
Go ahead,
5 minutes
Drew.
later,
No,
he controlled it enough not to attack Iron Man, not to attack anybody
It wasn't
else.
5 minutes later. He didn't come back to what, like
Yeah.
the
He
day or
jumped
two or
off.
something like that? Because he came back on a scooter because he got dropped
He
in the
came close
ocean.
to
So
attack.
there's
No,
no
no,
way he
well,
could
no.
come back in
He
5
fell
minutes.
out. He fell out of the plane. Remember?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then
he
he
fell
came
out
back
of the
to
plane.
New York City from the middle of the ocean.
Yes. On the scooter. He was Bruce Banner.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
that's what I'm saying.
that's when he met up with everybody fighting
I know, that's
fighting the invading
Yeah, that's
army.
what
It
I'm
was the
saying.
same day.
But like you act like
Yeah.
he fell out of the plane 5 minutes later. He rode back on the scooter.
It did. It did.
No,
That's
it
exactly
wasn't.
what happened.
No, that's not what
Listen,
happened.
No, it was
listen,
hours
listen.
later.
Hulk is always angry.
Yeah,
It was days
Bruce
later.
Banner can't control him.
It wasn't days.
The events on the helicarrier
No.
lead into the next thing, but he doesn't just, he falls out of the plane and then he's Bruce Banner when he comes back. And at least my argument, Andrew, is that when he's the Hulk, he can't control the Hulk. He can direct it a little bit, but not control it. He's not in control at that point. And we find that out later in Thor Ragnarok when he finally does turn back into Bruce Banner. We're getting way ahead of ourselves now, but when he turns back into Bruce Banner, he said, it's like Hulk's been in charge the last 3 years. He just threw me in the
Right,
trunk.
but still,
Hold
so
on,
he-
hold
one
on.
second
The battle-
he's going after Black Widow, and then
Yes.
when the Hulk comes back, then he's friends with everybody again, going after the flying worms.
Again,
The Battle of New York occurs almost immediately after the events of the helicarrier, is what this says.
but not
Following
5
the Hulk-
minutes.
But
Not
Hulk
5 minutes.
and Hulk's not
It's,
there.
it's almost immediately. The
Hulk-
events
5
almost
minutes.
immediately started
Like
happening.
you said, 5 minutes. We're saying hours. We're saying
Well,
like
okay,
but it
whatever.
wasn't-
So 5 minutes, 5 hours. So what?
Yeah,
so
the Hulk.
it's the same, it's the same.
I mean, there's a whole cutscene
And
with
think
Loki
about this.
and
The
Robert
Hulk
Downey
is always
Jr.
angry.
and the whole opening the portal up first. There's a whole battle before Hulk and the Avengers actually assemble. So there is time that happens between
But
When
it's
he
not
falls out of
that
the
much
sky
time
and ready
because
to
it says
return.
on here almost immediately after.
That's
Okay,
I mean,
all right,
That's
that's-
for interpretation.
regardless if
you
it's
said, but you can
immediately
say
or
right
it's
after,
10 years.
and when I say it could be 5 hours, could be 5 minutes and shit.
Well, here's my thing though. I mean, he was mad at everybody breaking the ship and going after the
And that I
Black
would
Widow.
attribute to what Uncle
and then,
Slam said.
and then
the
soon
Mind
after,
Stone.
what did you say? Soon after, when all the Avengers are in New York doing their stuff, he turns into the Hulk and he's friendly with everybody again.
The difference,
see,
because the
he
difference is Uncle Slam's point, though. That's
Yeah.
the difference between in the helicarrier. It was
Exactly.
Loki's scepter, the
It was
Mind
Loki
Stone.
and the Mind Stone because
Yes.
that staff had the Mind Stone in it, and the Mind Stone allows you to get in people's head.
Remember,
Talk
he
to
was
them.
listening into their conversation the whole time
Yeah.
he was in that container.
Exactly.
He
Like
was.
that's what the Mind Stone does. Like it messes with the mind.
Remember when they all took their safeties off and readied their weapons, and they said, "Dr. Banner,
Yeah.
please put down the scepter." He had picked up the scepter without even realizing he had picked up the scepter. It was already controlling him at that point, or already messing with his head. He just didn't know it.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's a stretch, but okay.
It's the Mind Stone that's in there. It's one of the capabilities of it. I mean, it is.
It's a
completely
stretch.
legitimate. Yeah.
It's one of the Infinity Stones. Like, what do you mean? It couldn't. You know, we got because they're going after the what the Space Stone, and Loki already got the what's the name stone from Thanos. Like in the beginning of the movie, that's who gave it to him.
The Mind Stone. Yeah. And the scepter. Yeah.
Now, because they barely show him, they just show like his chair and they show like the shadows. They show him giving it to him and shit.
At that
and then
point,
that's when he comes down and he goes after the other Infinity Stone. But they don't say Infinity Stone; they call it the Tesseract.
The Tesseract. Yes. They're not referring to.
But we all know what it is, though.
Yeah.
So.
I just asked the question and got an AI answer.
Oh no!
Oh great! I can't wait for that.
So it says the Incredible Hulk shift from a raging threat on the helicarrier to an ally during the Battle of New York in the Avengers is primarily due to Bruce Banner gaining voluntary control over the transformation and directing the Hulk's anger towards a common enemy. But that's my thing.
Talking about in New York, yeah, like we already know that. I mean, that's
I would say I'd attribute more to the Mind Stone and Loki doing manipulation with the Mind Stone than I would that. Because he got blown up and he fell and he didn't control the Hulk when he was turning, so therefore he didn't necessarily have control over it. I don't know about that either, but I do agree that there is some voluntary. The Hulk and Bruce Banner are separate entities.
Yes, they are.
If the Hulk is willing to let Bruce Banner in, then maybe that's possible. That's with Hulk. We could get into a whole conversation. We could sit here and talk for an hour about the Hulk. And the Hulk and Bruce Banner, and are they the same? Are they different?
Because they've been separated before, so obviously they're different people.
Yeah, in the comics,
yes, in the comics they separated them.
Johnny Lee, I'm sorry. Go ahead. What were you saying?
The Hulk has different personalities as well, so Bruce Banner would have to get along with all of them for the Hulk to let him in.
Now we're really getting into stuff there. But anyway, so I think
we'll have to save that for another day.
Have we resolved that part
right.
of it, or at least to everybody's basic content at this point?
I'm still with Andrew.
I got another thing.
So it's fine. We can split the panel. I'm with Uncle Slam.
We'll agree to disagree. There you go.
J Max says nope. Sorry.
All right. While we're at it, I got another thing that bugged me.
All right.
The Arrow guy. What's his name?
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye.
Does he ever run out of arrows?
You know, I was thinking the same shit. Everybody says that in the comics. They always make a joke. Like, how the fuck he get all these damn arrows? Where they come from?
I mean, he must have shot down 1,000 alien guys. How does he carry that many?
Now, he did reuse a couple of them, and he was stabbing people with them and shit. Yeah. But like he didn't have that many fucking arrows. We all know that shit.
Everyone knows Hawkeye has a secret pocket universe where he can just pull his arrows out of it.
That's about that. Johnny Lee's got the best argument. The secret pocket dimension. That's just.
I'm going to say the Tesseract made it so he can have unlimited amount of arrows.
Yes, that's the best argument I've heard. I don't have a good argument to put up for Hawkeye's arrows. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Have y'all not seen the lost footage? Except
what?
while everybody else is fighting and stuff, Hawkeye's over there just whittling arrows in the corner and everything.
Exactly.
Hey, you know
I've
what?
actually seen that joke before.
He does the same thing Legolas does in Lord of the Rings. Okay, let's just leave it at that.
Okay, but I got a question too. Like,
Yeah.
when Thor and Tony are fighting, and Cap jumps in the middle and gets hit by Thor's hammer, how the fuck does he survive that?
Who?
What?
Yeah, Cap. Cap's shield got hit with Thor's hammer.
The
Wouldn't
shield's
that
vibranium.
shield get like obliterated?
No, that shield is
hammer?
strong.
Captain America's shield is vibranium.
I know, but I'm still saying a mythical hammer, and it's going to survive. To me, that's just a
Believe
stretch
me.
a little bit. Like, I know
Believe me,
it's like
inside comic
supposed to
books,
be
it has to
indestructible and all this other shit, but a
Yeah.
magical hammer. I mean, there's limits. I mean, like even Thor's hammer got destroyed, but Cap's shield.
Well,
Captain
again,
America's
don't
a beast,
far
but
ahead.
he ain't
I got one
Superman.
word, guys. Wolverine. He's got the same kind of
He's got
exoskeleton as that
adamantium.
shield.
Vibranium.
Adamantium,
Adamantium's different.
Yes, exactly. It's different. The vibranium is supposed to be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Vibranium is the strongest thing that they found in the galaxy. It can't be destroyed by anything. So even a god wouldn't, I guess.
But
But
that's
it
the
did,
thing.
because Thanos chopped it up.
Yeah.
during Infinity War.
Yeah,
Thanos
Thanos is strong.
It's reasonable.
And not only that, but what does the vibranium have to do with breaking Captain America's arms? Like, I'm not trying to be mean, but Captain America is strong, but he's not Superman strong, and he just
But
took
the
a
vibranium,
Superman
like how
type blow.
vibranium works, one of the properties is that it absorbs energy and then it redirects it. Like if you ever seen Black Panther, his suit is made by vibranium, and if anybody hits him, he absorbs the energy and he can release it back. And that's why they made Cap's shield out of that, so it could reflect all types of shit.
Yeah,
which kind of means that he's also absorbing the attack of the hammer, and that's why it's not breaking.
Yeah,
but I see what J Mac's saying. It's like with that force, like even if the shield survived, wouldn't Cap, his arms probably snap right?
Yeah.
I mean, again, I think you guys just made your own argument for
thing.
that here, between the vibranium and him being a super soldier and shit. I think that would be the counter argument to that. But let's talk about the movie for a minute, because we got way off, and that's cool. I like that. That's
Yeah,
good.
but even
that's part of the movie.
Yeah, exactly. This is the first Avengers. This is where the universe is open now. So yeah, it's gonna
Also,
start
J-Mac,
leading into other threads. There's no way around
J-Mac,
that.
he's like their Superman, just without the flying abilities and the heat vision and ice breath.
But he doesn't have. He's only got the strength of like what, 15, 20 men.
Who?
Captain America.
I mean, that's just how they were measuring it in the movie, like in the movies. You hear that in the first.
I think he's a little stronger than that. I mean, like, I don't know how much, like maybe 2 tons or something like that. I don't know. He's at
how
the peak.
strong is Captain America considered?
You like that AI, don't you? Here, I like talking. He likes AI.
He does love
I
his
like
AI.
facts. I like facts.
You're not getting them from AI.
Yeah, but
pal.
AI doesn't give facts.
Yeah, AI giving facts. Okay. Now we're really getting in the knee-high stuff. Okay.
All right, what's it say?
The whole point of a movie is to suspend disbelief. So if you can't,
I know he can hold a helicopter.
Just believe that Captain
That's
America
right.
is strong.
What do you?
Captain America Steve Rogers is considered to have peak human to low-level superhuman strength, typically capable of lifting around 800 pounds to over a ton under stress. So he can only lift a ton, but he can survive a hammer hit from what's his face?
Again,
I don't buy it.
Shield, super soldier, vibranium shield. That's the argument.
He's also got great
superhero
plot armor.
I would like to point out
Hey,
that
Matt.
in a superhero movie,
Yeah, Batman's got plot armor too.
Yeah,
in a
his ass
superhero
never
movie,
survived.
you have to be willing to go so far in a superhero movie. I like that we're talking about how Captain America should have a broken arm because
he should have.
He got hammered by
He should have been picking himself up out from under the ground.
Are you saying if he gets hit by any superpowered person, he should immediately have a broken body?
Yeah.
Has the Hulk ever hit the shield? Captain America's shield, has he ever hit it?
I would say so, but I don't. I mean,
Hulk should be able to smash his face.
He can't smash the shield though. He's tried.
No, but he should be able to smash Captain America's face.
But here's the thing, too.
He couldn't hold the hammer.
Yeah, he could. I mean, yeah, we're getting off things here. So let's circle back to the movie. What do you guys?
We are
think?
talking about the movie. We're talking about the fact that he did. It's not believable at that point. No, I'm just
Yes.
joking.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Come
yeah.
on,
Yes.
come on, J-Man.
Yes, the hammer scene at the end of the movie is what makes that whole thing unbelievable.
Right.
Not
By
any
gosh,
of the
you know,
events
Norse
later.
gods
Or
and
the 6 movies.
Guess what?
superhuman flying green people and stuff. Of course,
Okay.
that's
Hey, guess
believable,
what?
man.
Cap tried
But
to lift
see,
up the hammer at one
The
point.
hammer, people that wield it, it's determined on who's worthy. It doesn't matter about strength. That's why Cap could lift
Right.
it. It has to
And
do
Hulk,
whether
yeah.
you're worthy or not. And Cap was
Yeah, it
worthy.
doesn't have to do with
Because Thor could have lifted. He was strong enough, but he wasn't worthy in the movie. Odin said, "You're not worthy anymore," and stripped it for him until he became humble and tried to sacrifice himself for people, and then he became worthy.
Yes, absolutely. What are you guys' thoughts on the Hulk kicking Loki's ass?
Loved it. One of my favorite
That was
parts.
hilarious.
Him
I thought that was funny.
My
smashing
favorite
him.
Yeah, me
part
too.
is when they try to lift up the hammer. You got to be worthy.
We're not there yet, Johnny Lee. You're still ahead.
I love that, and I love when Tony called out that guy on the helicarrier for playing with it Gallagher. He's like, that man over there is playing Gallagher right now. He's trying to hide it. We all
Yeah.
know.
But we know.
Yeah.
What about the
And then later on, like 5 minutes later, he goes back to playing it and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like nobody saw him and shit.
Robert Downey
about the scene
Jr.
with Loki and Hulk when he says "puny God"?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about. Yeah, that was a great scene. And I like the interaction between Loki and Iron Man and how Iron Man's like just delaying him and you know, just letting him buy into it. Yeah.
There's a lot of great moments inside the Avengers.
Yeah. And I like how the Mind Stone, like when he touched the arcane reactor, it didn't work. Now my question is, you think if he'd have touched him like in his forehead or like on any other part of his body, would it have worked?
No, because he had on the bracelets. That's why.
Iron Man?
Yeah, Iron Man put on the bracelets. He put on bracelets.
But Loki tried to touch him with the scepter to get him mind controlled like he did Hawkeye. But he
had the
arcane.
bracelet on. That's when you saw him making the drink, he slipped on the bracelet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
true.
So
Okay.
that bracelet, to me, that bracelet was what stopped it from doing its thing.
I think it's the arcane reactor at his chest.
Well, then why did they show him putting on the bracelet for what?
Because that's the new suit. That was the next upgrade to the suit.
Sure was.
The suit he took off when he lands in that scene is the beat up, trashy old one. Remember, he's
Right.
talking to Jarvis and he's like, well, you know, let's make it a live test flight. Because he's like, the new suit is ready, but it has not been tested.
I
So,
thought when he, because
that's what
at
the
one
risk
point he
thing
falls
for.
off of the building and the suit flies down to on him again. It doesn't.
that's in the next Iron Man?
No, that's that one. I thought they put on the bracelet because the bracelet was what caused the scepter thing not to work on him because of the bracelet.
No, I think the scepter thing was because he touched the arcane reactor. The wrist things was just so that he can bring his suit. Like that's his suit. That was him trying. That's how he was able to get the new suit on. Was the it's all in
I
the
didn't
wrist
see that.
thing. He rotated it, then the suit unfolds nanotechnology.
Now I'll never be able to look at it the same way anymore. So now
Did he touch him on the head or the chest?
The chest, right at the arcane reactor. That's why it didn't work.
That's why, like I said, because he touched metal on metal, he didn't touch flesh and flesh.
Yeah.
So that's my interpretation why it didn't work and shit.
Yeah, me too. Now, what do you guys think about the final battle, the Battle of New York?
Loved it. Like I said, it's not my favorite battle scene, but it's definitely really good. It's the first time you see them all working together as a team, especially when the music hits. They all assemble type shit, and then Cap starts giving orders, and everybody starts doing their thing.
That's one of my favorite scenes too, Uncle Slam, is when they finally all get together and Iron Man finally yields to Cap, and he just is like, he says, "Call it out, Cap." And it's kind of Iron Man yielding that, because before through the whole movie they're kind of butting heads.
Yeah.
Who's the leader? Who's the smartest? Whatever. But in that, I like that they all come together, and even Iron Man's like, "Call it out, Cap," and away they go. That was probably my favorite scene of the movie. Was that, and then they go to work and take it all down.
Yep.
Exactly.
What about the end of the movie and Iron Man taking the nuke through?
It was okay.
It was not really believable.
Yeah,
It was a
Anticlimactic.
sacrifice, though.
I mean, yeah.
But you know, the aliens coming through, that was all believable. No, I'm kidding when I say that.
Yeah. No, but I'm just saying. But like, I mean, I thought that him going through was just was unnecessary. I think it was like J Mac just said to like kind of make it more dramatic. Like,
Yeah.
oh, no, it's Iron Man. He's going to make it back through or whatever. But I don't know. I think just closing the portal would have just been a fine result. I don't think taking the nuke through did anything really.
Well,
he's gotta
my
be a
whole
hero.
thing was like, why did he have to fly the nuke all the way through the portal? Was it not going to go that direction if he just pushed it that way because of the, you know, the jets that were flying the missile in the first place?
I understand what you're saying, and this is my counter argument, and it's not strong. So I understand if you want to rip it apart. All right, okay, I believe me, because this is weak. But because I think Iron Man was thinking revenge at that point. He wanted to make sure the missile hit something. He didn't want it to just go through the portal and blow up. He wanted to hit them with man's most powerful weapon at that time, a nuke. He wanted to send that nuke through, hit something with it so that they could see we are capable of defending ourselves. Not that nuke, I think in terms of the galaxy, a nuke is irrelevant, which we find out, you know, it's really nothing. So really he wasn't doing anything, but that's my only counter argument for that, is that he wanted the revenge. He wanted that shot.
That's also what I was thinking.
This is our strongest weapon. Have this, you know, and then like that's just kind of how I
take a chance for it to miss.
I see what you're saying, but you know,
again, admittedly, it's a weak argument for sure. But that's the only way that I could see it. That's the only thing I can.
Here's my thing. We got Tony Stark, a guy who comes up with how to hack in and make all this electronic stuff, but he couldn't hack into that nuke for the guidance system and just make it go a different direction instead of having to fly it and go through space-time continuum.
Again, arguably, that nuke was set up with. I mean, you would think he would be able to, because likely it's protected with Stark tech, right? Like it's a nuclear missile by the U.S. military. Tony Stark makes weapons for the U.S. military. Conceivably, that would be protected by Stark tech anyway. You would think he would have been able to just go in and do that. Yeah, I do agree with you on that, J-Mac. I'll give you that one.
I can't nerd out like you guys do.
Without that kind of thing, but they.
Well, then, Andrew, from a non-nerd, how did you like Avengers?
Like I said, I liked it, except those two things really bugged me. But the Hulk being bad and good and bad.
You're not happy with the staff and the Mind Stone? You're not happy with that argument?
That and the arrows. That just bugged me.
I have nothing for the arrows. I just
nobody does. Like, you're never gonna have anything for the arrows because it don't make sense.
I got nothing for the arrows. I'm sorry. I got nothing. I got nothing to offer.
The only argument I can make is maybe he's got the same ability that Deadpool has, where he could just whip weapons out of the pocket.
No, he doesn't have that shit. He doesn't.
Yeah, it was definitely entertaining, and it kept you on your toes.
I know exactly what
kept
the
storyline going. Absolutely, it did.
I didn't like what before we go back and rank both of these movies. The one part that I really didn't like about the Avengers, I didn't like how Hawkeye was under the spell for most of that movie. Like, I didn't like how he was working with Loki through most of that movie. I thought that was kind of weak.
Yeah, it was.
But
I get it. I mean, he wasn't going to be the big superhero that's saving everybody. He's like other than what's her face, he was the only human there.
Yeah, I guess that's the point. Like, he's a regular guy, so that's how easy it was against the god. I guess I get it, but yeah, I wasn't happy about it. I like Hawkeye. I mean, I'm not a big Hawkeye fan, but I like Jeremy Renner, and I think he has done the best Hawkeye that I've ever seen, in my opinion.
I ain't never seen nobody else take on a snowmobile and walk away from
it. You're right.
Yeah, man, he's a beast. All right, so at this point, we also got we know where two of the stones are: the Space Stone and the Mind Stone.
And I've been doing a little research. Can I throw this in here?
Yeah.
Just to be 100% transparent. Captain America is not stronger than the Incredible Hulk, Thor, or Iron Man.
We all know that.
We know
like
that.
That's a given.
Well, I don't know about Iron Man, but we know that. Yeah.
It says right here, physical tier, he is
This is
well
AI,
above standard
and AI
human
knows.
athletes, but well below heavy hitters like Hulk, Thor, or Iron Man.
Yeah,
Well,
forget
Iron Man's not really a heavy
Dirt.
hitter. That, like I said, Thor and the Hulk are and shit. But Iron Man is just a guy in a suit.
Right,
It's the
but
suit that
that
makes him
suit's
strong.
more
We
powerful
can
than
make this
him.
like argument about
Yeah, but it
Batman.
ain't more
He just
powerful than
got some
Thor
suit.
or the Hulk.
Hey, let's just save that argument. We got Civil War coming up in a couple episodes, so let's just hold
Well, no,
on.
that, I'm just hearkening back to why are his arms not broken on the side of the road somewhere when Thor hit the shield?
Okay.
Just say it's plot armor,
Wait a
okay?
second.
We
Wait a second. You
understand.
said
We understand
Plot
you don't like the
helps
shield,
Batman, it
super
also helps
soldier
Civil
armor
War.
argument. We got it. What, Johnny Lee?
Plot armor. It helps Batman, so it'll help even Captain America.
What was you saying, Andrew?
You said we had two stones. We have the Tesseract, which is the Mind Stone.
Yeah.
And where did the
Loki's
other one
staff-
come into play?
No. The
No.
Tesseract is the space stone.
Yeah.
Loki's staff is the Mind Stone.
Yeah.
Well, how did the Mind Stone? How did he get them? I thought
The Mind Stone.
Mine
was
what he
given
got
to
from
the beginning of
Thanos at the
Avengers
beginning
from
of the
Thanos.
movie.
Yeah.
When he got the staff, that's who he got the staff from was Thanos, and Thanos sent him to go get the other stone
when did he get the staff from Thanos?
at the
At
beginning of the movie,
Avengers.
the very beginning of the movie of the Avengers movie.
Yes.
Thanos had a plan, and he put it into action.
After the end of the first Thor, the Bifrost breaks and Thor's holding on to Loki, and Loki lets go and gets sucked through the portal and ends up floating through space. Thanos finds him, and thus the opening of the Avengers, where he gives him the staff and recruits him to.
So Thor 1 was before Captain America?
Release wise,
Yeah,
yes.
release time. Yeah.
Yeah, release wise.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I guess I don't remember the very beginning of Thor 1. Okay.
No, like that was Avengers. That was Avengers that happened at. Beginning of Avengers, it shows Loki getting handed the staff by Thanos.
Yeah, it happens at the beginning of the Avengers, not Thor.
Yeah.
At the end of Thor, I brought up the end of Thor when he's holding on to Thor, the Bifrost.
Yeah.
Portal. That's how Thanos finds him.
Yes.
I have to go back and see that because I don't recall that scene at all. Okay.
Yeah. So we got two of the Infinity Stones so far. Now let's go back. Let's jump back because I forgot to have everybody's rating for Captain America. So what do you rate Captain America, Andrew? How many shots of whiskey? Out of 5.
Out of 5.
10 that we've been doing.
I'd say 2.5, 2.25, 2.5.
What if it's out of 10? Let's just make sure because I think we might have been out of 10. So let's just
No, it's out of 5.
Is that a 5? 2.5 shots. Yeah.
Oh, was that a 5? Okay, 2.5.
Yeah.
J-Mac, Captain America.
So are we doing this up into this point or throughout the whole?
On its own basis, on its own merits. Captain America by itself, not in terms of like how you like it compared to the other MCU movies. Just is Captain America by itself. How do you rate that movie?
Give it 4 headlocks.
4 headlocks. Wow, big rating.
One of my favorites.
Do we lose Uncle Slam?
I'm
there
gonna
you
go with 4-2 also. Like I said, I liked it. It was balanced. I like how it started tying in certain aspects from all the other movies, kind of, putting stuff, slowly or whatever. So I'm like I said, a solid 4. Like I said, it was decent.
All right. And Johnny Lee.
I'll give it a solid 4 out of 5 stars myself.
Okay. I am going to give it a 3. I'm not a big Captain America fan, so it took me the first time through it. It took me some doing to get through it. I knew I was watching it because we were getting to the Avengers. That's likely why I was more excited to watch it. So I think it was a good movie, but it wasn't super great to me. That's just my opinion. So I'm gonna only give it a 3. All right, and the Avengers. Andrew, what do you rate the Andrew?
That's a good 4 shots right there. Good 4 shots.
Good 4 shots.
Yeah.
J-Mac?
Avengers, the first one. I give it 4 headlocks.
Uncle Slam?
4.5.
4.5. Johnny Lee?
I'll give it a 4 because it did what it needed to do.
I'm going to give it a 5 because I think it was one of the At that time, it was the best movie, one of the best movies in the cinematic universe. I think it's, and I think in terms of the overall universe, it's arguably one of the
It did
best
what it
out
had
there.
to do.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 5 because I really enjoyed the Avengers movie. So, and it's the first one that I've given a 5 to. I think I gave a 4 to the first Iron Man, but the Avengers is the first one where I'm going to a 5. So. There's a couple things we didn't talk about. Did anybody want to talk about Agent Coulson and his sacrifice? Honestly, I kind of thought it was a little whatever.
I didn't.
Yeah,
like
it was.
I wanted him. I liked that character. I wanted him to stay. I know.
Yeah. Oh, then that leads me to this visual. Who watched? Anybody before we head out? Did anybody watch Agents of Shield?
No.
No.
Sorry.
Nope.
I really tried. I gave it a season. And then I couldn't watch anymore. So
And you gave it more than I did.
He's good.
Yeah, I
as
was going to say you
a
did better than me.
main character.
I really tried. I really thought I really wanted, because I wanted, I knew that eventually TV series, that Marvel was going to do this. TV series were going to be tried into the MCU. And if you missed a TV series, you could end up not understanding something in one of the movies. And that was my biggest complaint with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Nothing in that show ever made it back to the movies. Nothing from that show ever came back to the movies. That was my biggest complaint. That's why I turned it off. As soon as once we get through the next couple movies through the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and nothing is ever referenced, we don't see Agent Coulson again for a while. We don't see any of the other superheroes that he's putting together for his own team. None of that in the movies. None of that makes it to the cinematic universe. And I lost interest very quickly. It wasn't a standalone show I could watch. If it wasn't tied into the Marvel, I did not care. So
Exactly.
it's unfortunate because I liked Agent Coulson. He's not even a real character. He was just a throwaway character that got popularity from the people. So he's not even a real comic book character. So I liked Agent Coulson. I didn't really like how they killed him, and I don't think that his death. I think that was just, like J Mac said earlier, it was just something to try and make it more dramatic and
right.
Be this piece that brought them all together. I don't think they needed that piece when New York was burning to the ground. I think that was the piece that should have brought them together. That's my
exactly.
opinion. So,
well,
all right.
that's what the arc that they tried to use to bring Cap and what's his face, Iron Man back together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, there was no reason for it.
Yeah.
Agent Coulson was just there to die and bring them peace. I don't like it.
I don't know, when it came to the worst time, he finally had some balls. He was standing up to a guy. He had this big weapon, and you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, we need something to make these guys work together. I know. Let's kill off the guy that we've been giving character development to.
Yeah.
I like one of his last lines. It says, that's what it does when he shoots the gun.
Right.
That's what it does.
And then we lose them.
Yeah.
Then we lose him.
And then, of course, and that's terrible how they bring him back in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like that, his whole origin between him dying in Avengers and what happens to him to be in charge in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is just a tragic proportion. I can't believe they did that.
Well, now that you gave us a spoiler, I don't want to watch it now. Thanks.
You don't want to watch it anyway.
Like
I don't think, Andrew, I'm confident in saying that I don't think you're going to find enjoyment out of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, thanks for messing it up, man. I was going to go home and watch it tonight. God.
I didn't say what it was. I just said it was terrible. You guys don't even want to see it already. So that's how much
I had it queued up on my Netflix right now, man.
Delete.
That's how much Andrew and J Mac trust my opinion, that all I did was say that it was terrible and they're willing to just throw the show out the window. That's why you tune into Mayhemtainment and you watch the bad guy JD, because you can take his word to the bank. I turned that right into a plug for myself.
Oh, geez. Okay.
That's why. Anybody final thoughts on Captain America or the Avengers movie? Andrew, any final thoughts or
No,
anything?
I'm good. I said all I needed to say. I'm good. Thanks.
All right, J Mac?
2 of the best ones of the series.
Uncle Slam?
I enjoyed when the Black Widow did the Frankensteiner to the Russian guy.
Me too.
I second that. Can we do more Hurricane Ranas on Russian guys by Scarlett Johansson in the future movies?
Only if she gets naked.
Real quick
Can we
bonus,
please
real
not
quick bonus
have it
question.
be?
How much of a tragedy is it that Black Widow didn't get her standalone movie until technically after the MCU saga?
Oh yeah.
Even though technically chronologically it takes place before everything, obviously, but
Mhm.
technically she doesn't get her movie until after the Infinity saga is over.
Technically, I didn't care. I got to watch Scarlett Johansson for another 2 hours, and it was an excuse too.
There you
so.
go. Yeah.
I like Scarlett Johansson. She's
Oh,
all
yeah.
right, but please, for the love of God, don't try to force a romance story between her and the Hulk. It was not great.
It wasn't. They should have forced that romance story between me and her.
Yeah, I pass on that too, J-Mac. So, Johnny Lee, any final thoughts on Captain America and Avengers?
Both movies did what they had to do to set us up for the future.
Yep.
Yes, I think so too. I think that's what I like about the beginning of the MCU was it was a build. We knew it was building up to the Avengers. Then in the Avengers, we find that it's not actually building up to the Avengers. That we're going to be building up to the Infinity Stones, which we know. Which now we could talk about the post-credit scene with for the Avengers, which we know, and that's where we know that's where the big bad guy's coming. Even though we got to wait quite a while for him, but we know that Thanos is on the board at that point in the post-credit scene. I mean, you can suspect before that, but in the post-credit scene, we get confirmation that Thanos is gonna do it.
For many movies, he sit on his throne, just staring menacingly until Infinity War.
Yeah. So, how did you guys? Well, Andrew, you're not a huge comic book guy. Did you know who Thanos was when you saw the post-credit scene?
No clue. Had no clue.
J-Mac?
I knew who Darkseid was. I had no clue who Thanos was.
Okay, Uncle
I guess you don't know who Darkseid is. You know who that Darkseid is.
Who the hell?
Well, whatever. I've heard him called Darkseid. I've heard it called both. So I don't know. I'm not that big of a comic book fan.
That's what Kurt Russell had. He had a Darkseid because he had the sun.
Next, you'll tell me that Batman.
That's how Cap became black.
And he ain't never going back now.
Oh man.
Oh.
Okay, time to go.
Yeah, it's time to wrap up. So we talked about the post-credit scene, and I think that's where we're going to end it. 2 weeks, we'll do the next two movies, which I'm actually not entirely sure. Anybody know what the next two movies are?
Don't have the slightest idea, sir.
Wasn't it Iron Man 3?
I forgot too.
Yeah, I think it is
yeah,
Iron Man 3. Yes, Iron Man 3 and then Thor the Dark World. So buckle up because this is where the MCU starts to slip and slide just a little bit. So Iron Man 3 and Thor the Dark World, we're likely going to have some things to say that are not on as positive as what we just talked about tonight.
Yes.
So tune in for that 2 weeks from now, Monday, 8 p.m. If we change the time or we do any changes, I'll make sure I let everybody know. But that's the way we're going with right now since it works for everybody. So Uncle Slam and J Mac, go check them out. Headlocks, Heels, and Havoc. They're live every Friday and Saturday.
Every Friday.
Every Friday. They're live every Friday, except for on nights where we do big collaborations and then they don't have time because we're busy doing a big collaboration. Johnny Lee and the Superfly Experience and the Nice Guy Andy podcast. When are you guys live, Johnny Lee?
I'm going to be live Wednesday, but we also are live Thursdays. And sometimes we might even do special lives for Sunday night, like we did with Chris Crow. Check us out.
Yes, go fly the Nice Guy. Go follow the Nice Guy Andy podcast and the Superfly Experience. And of course, Popcorn and Whiskey by Andrew Poletto up there in the corner. Go check him out. He's usually also live every Fridays and Saturday nights, unless he's doing a gigantic collaboration with us, in which case he's doing that. But he's live most other Fridays and Saturday nights, so go check him out. It's my favorite show, Popcorn and Whiskey. And of course, I am the host of Mayhem Media, the bad guy. This particular episode sponsored by JDE Designs. Go check that out on Facebook and pick yourself up a poster and go check out our storefront, bonfire.com/store/Mayhem Media Shop. And pick up some of our apparel. Until next time, Marcus Fredrickson is going to play us out. Check out his music. ReverbNation.com/Marcus Fredrickson. Until then, I am your host, the bad guy JD, and that's the end.